We're going to look at a mobility drill with gymnastics rings. We can tie this to dips on gymnastics rings. We'll do that towards the end of the video. If you don't have gymnastics rings, stick around. We're going to talk a lot about posture and position of the rib cage. We're also going to talk a little bit about the channels in Chinese medicine. So I'm going to set the gymnastics rings up to where I'm pretty much straight with my arms, so it's down at about my greater trochanter or hip. It can adjust a little bit from there. That you can modify that based on your flexibility, but that's a good general guideline. I want to walk forward so that I am under the rings. So when my arms are up, they're pretty much straight up in the air. So that's going to be my starting position. I'm going to have a Tai Chi stance or a mountain climber stance. That's going to help me sort of have stability in the movement. So from here, I want to start going into another position. And I want to turn my arms in, tilt my shoulder blades forward, so that'll project my shoulder forward and let the rib cage and the spine bend. So that's going to take me into the first position. I have a little bend in my elbows. I'm pushing into the gymnastics ring, so I have an eccentric contraction on the biceps. So from here, I'm going to go into second position. I'm going to drop my shoulder blades, tilt them back, open the rib cage, open the shoulders, bring the rings up. My shoulders are going into upward rotation. I'm engaging the lower and middle traps to help open the chest. So that's position 2. So let's go back into the position 1. I'm going to turn my arms in, tilt my shoulder blades forward, downwardly rotate the shoulder blades, relax the spine and rib cage. So I work a lot with patients, and many practitioners would want to take people out of this position. Overly kyphotic or bent in the spine, forward shoulders. This is maybe extreme, but this position would be something we want to change them from by lifting the chest, engaging the back, and allowing for expansion. So I've already set a little bit of a false narrative here because we've kind of stated that this is good, this is bad. I want to be able to get into this position. I think it's a healthy position to be able to have the flexibility in my spine, have the flexibility in my shoulder girdle, and to be able to take my body into that range of motion. I want it to be comfortable. I want it to be a challenge, but I don't want it to hurt. So it's a very healthy position to be in. I just don't want to be stuck in that position. So it's not the position that's bad, it's being stuck. I want to be able to come out of that position by lifting and opening the shoulder girdle, lifting the chest, and being able to expand. However, I want to be able to get into this position, but I wouldn't also want to be stuck in this position. So I definitely work with people who can't let the rib cage drop, and this is not a healthy position to live in. I want to be able to get into it, get out of it. So I want to be able to effortlessly and comfortably go into position 1, allowing my body to find that potential. Shoulder blades forward, rib cage spine bent, eccentrically loading the biceps and pec minor. That's part of the lung sinew channel in Chinese medicine. Then I want to drop the shoulder blades, open the chest, engage the lower and middle traps, part of the large intestine sinew channel. So I'm working with these two very related channels that are a yin and a yang pair. The lung channel affects the balance of the upper rib cage. If it gets short, it's going to pull the shoulder blades forward, collapse the chest. Large intestine sinew channel fires. It's going to pull the shoulder blades down, open the chest. So there's a balance between the two. They're interacting with each other, and we're working on the potential of movement of those channels. So let's do a few. I'm going to engage the lung sinew channel, shorten the front, eccentrically contracting the biceps, pec minor shortened. Engage the traps, pull the shoulder into upward rotation and depression, Engage pec minor and biceps, lung sinew channel, large intestine sinew channel, lung sinew channel, large intestine sinew channel, lung sinew channel, large intestine sinew channel. One final tip is I want to lead the motion from the shoulder blades. So anteriorly tilt, downward rotation. Posteriorly tilt, upward rotation. Shoulder blades lead the way. All right, so dips are a much different exercise. Obviously, there's not an overhead component to it, but there's some things similar that I want to look at. So the first exercise, the mobility drill, is really nice to warm up, prepare the joints. I'm in my 50s. This can put a certain amount of stress on my shoulder joints. So it's important and imperative for me to warm up and take my body through a range of motion in a comfortable way, in a way that's not stressing the body overly before I put some more stress on it. So let's go into dips and look at the similarities. So I'm going to get up on the rings. I want to turn the rings out, drop my shoulder blades. So that's similar to the first position other than the overhead component. Then as I come down, my shoulder is going to go into an anterior tilt. I'm more engaged in that lung portion of the sinew channel. Push up, drop the shoulder blades, turn the rings out. Down, anterior tilt, posterior tilt, anterior tilt, posterior tilt. So I'm still using those same channels. I just don't have the overhead portion of it.